Hi, this is Drew with a review of the Under Armour Curry 10 with the flow technology for a size 9.5. It weighs about 358 grams, which is pretty lightweight. Curry Flow has always been lightweight because they're super low cut and they don't have a rubber outsole, so naturally they better be lightweight. So this, not much of a departure. The upper is very much more or less the same from the Curry 9s, which is nice. The fit is pretty much true to size. Depending on the way you like to lace up your sneakers and the way you wear the kind of fit you want. I personally feel better going a half size up, but you can go true to size. And if you have really narrow feet, you probably want to go definitely half a size down or even lower, because compared to the previous Currys, let's say the Curry 8s, this is, I feel, at least one size smaller than the Curry 8s, or the Curry 8s are really small shoes, personally, in my opinion. The Curry 1 flow through, I went 9.5, it fit well. This 9.5 fit okay, and this is, yeah. The design, I don't know why they have these stripes, because this is pretty much painted. The colors didn't need to be there. Why are they trying to promote a rival brand? I don't know. Or are they trying to, tease them, or are they trying to pick a fight with them? I have no idea. I personally prefer the Curry 1 flow throw, because the Curry 1 design was okay, and it's a pretty historic, iconic one, because it's his first signature shoe that he wore in his first finals in 2015. And they brought the upper, which is anafoam, which was good, and the flow is better in the Curry 1 flow throw than the other flow shoes, because they did not put this unnecessary plastic shank in the middle of the shoe. That means that much of the foam is carved out, and that much plastic is there, so the cushioning is a gnawed off or chewed out, reduced to that extent. So cushioning wise, I felt the 1 flow throw is probably better among the flow shoes, because it was just solid flow. The flow itself is pretty rigid, so I don't think there's a need to put another plastic layer inside. It just adds weight and it eats up the cushioning. Some people are saying this is actually, the foam is thicker or softer than the previous Currys. Only the Curry 9 flow was the worst possible, crappiest flow foam ever, because it was rigid. They tried to make it rigid so that the one-piece midsole outsole would be a little bit more durable than Curry 8, but it was the wrong way to go, because it was gonna wear out anyway. It's not rubber. It tried to be rubber, but it didn't, so it was gonna wear off slightly less quick than the Curry 8s. This one, yeah, I think they returned to the Curry 8 kind of density. The foam feels just as plush as the 8 or the flow throws. But of course, there's a plate here, so that means it's not going to be as soft as a 1 flow throw. The reason why you feel this is a little bit higher off the ground, that the midsole is thicker, or the cushioning is, stepping comfort is good, or the cushioning is overall better, it's not because of the flow. Personally, the way I see it, if you peel the insole and look at it, the insole is more substantial than previous Curry models, Curry flow models. Ortholite have material that's pretty thick and dense, and even the strobo board underneath it seems a little bit more plusher and a little bit more richer than the previous Curry model. So the strobo board and the insole is doing the additional job of giving you this false sensation of enhanced cushioning. So it's not an advancement in the flow foam. Speaking of the flow foam, the traction pattern, they don't really branch out far from all the previous Curry flow traction. Why do you even need these patterns? Because they're gonna wear out anyway instantly, and these patterns don't work on dusty floors. They are super dust sensitive, and even on a very clean court, it does not grip the court. You feel a little bit of a sliding. You won't come to a hard stop. If you like that little slithering sensation when you come to stop, even on a pristine court, go ahead. I guess to some that might be better than just a really ABS type of stop, because that might hurt you in some way. But I mean, basketball shoes, how often do we get to step on an NBA type of pristine maintained court where you feel great traction? And if you have access to those kind of courts, and those are the only places where you play at, you don't need to worry about traction. You can wear any kind of well-cushioned shoe with a rubber outsole, and it'll provide as good, if not better traction than this midsole that's pretending to be an outsole. And also it wears out really quickly, and the more you wear this out, that means the lesser the cushioning is going to be, because it's sacrificing itself. It's rubbing itself, chafing itself off to provide you traction while deducting the cushioning away from the shoe you have or you once had. And the price point is ridiculous. It's close to $200, and it actually went up. It went up considerably compared to the Curry 9s, or rather, the Curry Flowtro 1 was cheaper than the Curry 9s, and this is actually more expensive than the Curry 9s. This is the most expensive Under Armour Curry signature to date. And why? Just because we won a Finals MVP? Anyway, the outrigger is non-existent, but it's the base is okay. This is better than the Curry 8s in that sense, because the Curry 8 had a bit of a bulge in the medial side than the lateral side, which was weird. This one has a little bit more of a midsole that protrudes like an outrigger, but yeah, the base could have been a bit wider. I think that would have provided a bit more breakage in terms of anti-inversion safety mechanism. And they have this stupid rigid plastic on this lateral side of the heel. There's a good heel cup there getting the job done. So why is this here? Because this, if you want to talk about preventing ankle sprains, how often do you sprain it this way? It's always towards the lateral side. That's why we have an outrigger. As for something that's going to provide the rigidity, you don't want it here. You want something that provides a stiff support here, because if you look at the old Jordans, they always had, some of them had a raised part here. You had the monkey paw type of support here, because it's here. This is where you're gonna hurt yourself, not this. And if you were gonna use this much plastic, which is probably gonna add a lot of weight, why don't you use it here and have somewhat of an outrigger mechanism? The padding is nice all around. The Currys always have a nicely padded overall tongue and ankles area. The heel cup is there, no heel slippage. That's nice. The fit is nice. The upper is they don't have a crazy dead space here, which is something that I would like to really praise. But other than that, the upper is not different from the 9s, and there's an inner booty inside this mesh looking upper, so it's not the craziest, most breathable shoe out there. And there's this weird plastic tab here to provide this X here, but it just adds weight. You don't need this. I guess they wanted to put an X to say it is 10, Curry 10. So yeah, the overpriced, and this is something that you will wear out, especially if you wear it wherever you're gonna wear it. You're gonna wear it out, and it's not gonna provide any solid traction unless you wear it in a pristine court, or you wear it in a court that will really eat the shoe up really quickly, like an AstroTurf court or a Eurothon court, PU kind of layered court, or a cement or asphalt. Yeah, this is gonna go get rubbed off and erased quickly, faster than ever. So for the price point, like near $200, if you're gonna wear a shoe that can only last you like a handful of games, yeah, if you're a Curry fan, go ahead. But why don't you pay less for more, which will be the Curry 1 Flowtro. That one doesn't have the stupid plastic plate, so it has better cushioning and it's more lightweight. And the design of the SC anagram logo is there, which is more beautiful, and the Under Armour logo is there as well. Just a tiny little Curry logo that's it's also on like a, what do you call it, hologram kind of thing, where you move it in one direction, you see the Curry logo, move it in one direction, you see the Under Armour logo. So SC30 logo. So aesthetics, and in terms of value, because that's the first shoe that Steph Curry wore in the finals in 2015, although it didn't perform great. So that is definitely something more meaningful, and the design is better. The traction is just as much of a joke as any other Curry Flow, but why not get that one, which is cheaper and feels better, looks better. The outsole, Flow outsole, unless you get sponsored by Under Armour, or if you are a really hardcore fan of Steph Curry and you want to wear his shoes when you're cheering him on, go ahead. But Or if you're loaded, your parents are loaded, or if you've got a lot of money to spend and uh, you like how the shoe feels, and you don't mind wearing the shoe off in a couple of games and then getting another one, or stockpiling them, or you like wearing shoes out quickly so you can get another one, go ahead. But Under Armour, please, if you're listening, don't ever freaking do this again, because this is an insult to consumers. Have a rubber outsole, at least strategically placed in pivot points for the heel. Do we need to like buy our own little attachable outsole and then stick them in parts so that we can actually have a decent basketball shoe? This is an insult to Steph Curry, who's getting better, who's probably peaking right now. And before he retires, hopefully Under Armour can do him justice by getting a shoe that does not insult his fans and consumers.